but there's one center, the Buffalo Maritime Center, that is trying to get people to understand their waterfront heritage. I went there to take a look in anticipation for this week's Maritime Festival at Canalside, so take a look. With roots reaching back to 1989, Buffalo's Maritime Center has been collecting and restoring historic boats in order to revitalize Western New York's interest in their very own maritime heritage.
What many people don't realize is that that this is a very significant area in terms of boat building, boat design, and so forth. There were lots of boat builders, lots of shipbuilders in Buffalo, the whole Great Lakes phenomenon, and so on. So if you look at any of the old photographs of the harbor, you see this. And so part of what we're interested in doing is recapturing that and giving people a sense of that history.
One way the Buffalo Maritime Center is achieving this is through community outreach.
Our mission really has developed into what we call the hand-to-hand program, which is an outreach program to the community, basically focused on teaching kids to solve problems through boat building. As part of that, and a large part of that, we have a group of volunteers, adult volunteers, people who have expertise in all kinds of areas, who come in to help us do it.
For adult volunteers, this is an opportunity to learn how to build and restore historic boats.
What somebody comes in, they don't need to know anything. They come in, they start working with us on various projects. We have mentors which help them. And as they learn, they begin to teach other people. And eventually they can work with some of the programs that we work with kids in the schools and so on.
With the help of these volunteers, the hand-to-hand program becomes a way for young people to learn how to do things by actually doing them.
We've worked with lots of inner-city kids and kids with problems and issues and so forth. And then they come in and they say, what are we doing? You know, there's another program or whatever. When they realize they're building a real boat that they can get in, suddenly something clicks. It's like, this is serious business. I'm doing something that's important. And so it has a tremendous effect on them in terms of their attitudes and attitudes toward learning. For example, designing and building this boat, for example, they need to learn things that will require some mathematics. I mean, measuring, geometry, figuring out displacement, understanding, and why do things float. So you can get at all kinds of subjects through this actual object and through building this object that would be very abstract and maybe very difficult to connect to if you did it in a regular classroom.
And while young and old are learning the basics of boat building, historic boats with ties to Western New York are making their journey back to the water.
One of the unique things about building a historic boat or restoring a historic boat is that sailing that boat is sort of the ultimate hands-on historical experience. The water's the same, the sky's the same, the wind's the same, and so forth. The boat shape is the same. So when you sail that, you're having, with the Skajaka, an 1885 experience, you know. I mean, that takes a lot of fancy simulation if you're trying to do that with computers.
To the Buffalo Maritime Center, opportunities to restore and use historic boats are a key element to the revitalization of Buffalo's waterfront.
One of the things we believed in from the beginning is we need to try to create the ambiance of the harbor, the life of the harbor that really built this city. So it's important to us that we get as many historic boats down there, give people access to those boats, give people access to building those boats, understanding those boats, and use, just as with the kids, using that as a lead-in to get them into understanding Buffalo heritage.
And if you would like to get in touch with your Buffalo Maritime heritage, the second annual Buffalo Maritime Festival is happening this weekend. It starts the 19th and ends the 21st at Canalside. The festival is fun for all ages and is free. You'll get to check out a lot of cool boats that are coming into the area, of course, or being showcased from the area right down at Canalside. But right now we're going to head over to the Kitchen World